Hey friend, Graham Cochran here from recordingrevolution.com. I hope you are safe. I hope you are healthy. I hope you are well during this global situation that we are going through. And so if you are like many people, you're working from home. Or if you're not working from home, you might be just home because of no work for you. And a lot of my friends have lost jobs, or they are furloughed for 90 days, or they're just in a holding pattern, or maybe you're able to work from home remotely. But either way, many of us are stuck at home and still need to be productive for our work, but also want to be productive for our music. And this is like uncharted territory for a lot of people. And it is very easy to go absolutely insane working from home. My brother called me the other day on Monday. He's like, bro, I'm working from home for the first time ever. And he's got 3 kids and they're young. He's like, I'm up here in my bedroom with a little card table and my laptop, and I cannot get anything done. I'm losing my mind. Now, I want to help you. I have 4 quick thoughts for how to stay super productive and stay sane when working from home, no matter what it is you're doing from home. Whether you have a family or whether you're single, working from home is a challenge for a lot of people. Hey, I've been doing it for over a decade, so I'm really good at it. This is my life, this is my world, and people have always said, how do you do it? How do you do it? I could never do that. Well, now a lot of people have to do it. That's their reality. So let me share with you how to stay sane, how to stay productive, 4 simple thoughts that will help you if you are stuck at home and need to get work done. Now, there's a common theme that's gonna run through most of these tips, and that is separation, okay? The beauty of working at an office or working at a remote location is that it's separation. You can work and then you can come home. And that's why a lot of people don't like work from home, because it blends the two. That is the challenge. So what we need to do is create separation. So tip number 1 is to create a separate, dedicated workspace for you. Think about your home studio. Wherever you are, even if you're in a 1-room apartment, you probably have a dedicated area that is your home studio. And it might be right next to your bed. It might be in your spare bedroom. It might be in your living room in a corner. I've had all of those, by the way, but it's still a dedicated space. You know, when you sit down at that desk, that is your sweet spot. It's your wonderful, happy place to make music. You associate sitting there with being productive in your studio. You need the same thing for your normal work. You need a dedicated space. So you can't work from home and stay in your bed. A lot of people think working from home is like you stay in your pajamas, you don't wear pants, and you're in your bed and you just like get stuff done. That's not true at all. I've been working from home for over a decade. I get up, I get showered, I put on clothes, I put on cologne. Yeah, so that I smell good for just myself. There's literally nobody else here. I put on cologne. Why? Because it makes me take myself seriously, and then I go to my dedicated space. Now, I have an office. If you have one, great. But if you don't, set up one little area of your house, just like you do with your studio, to put your laptop, to put your computer, whatever you got, and say, this is my office. I'm only gonna work here, and when I'm done from that, I'm gonna go to the rest of my house. Again, even if it's in one bedroom, don't do it from your bed. Don't do it from your couch. Pick a dedicated space so that it's a physical representation of your work. Number 2 is to have dedicated work hours. You need to treat yourself like a professional even when you're at home. So still maintain hours. And then the bonus thing here is if you have family, a spouse, kids, roommates living in the house with you, in the apartment with you, you need to tell them, hey, these are gonna be my work hours. I'm gonna be working from 9 to 12, and then I'll have a lunch break, and then from 1 to 5, or whatever you decide. You need to come up with work hours that you are in the office, and then if you live with others, communicate those hours to the people that you live with. So for example, my kids and my wife know that if they're home and I'm working, Daddy's working between 9 and 12. He'll pop out for lunch, and then he's gonna work for a couple hours in the afternoon from 1 to 3 or whatever it would be. Like, that is pre-communicated. And so you need to create your own work hours at your allocated, dedicated workspace and communicate those with your family. That way you can still wake up, do your morning routine, If you like to exercise like I do in the morning, get that done. And then go to work at a certain time as opposed to, well, I'll get in when I feel like it. Your boss wouldn't be cool with that if you worked at the office or you worked at the restaurant or you worked wherever you were. So be responsible to yourself and have dedicated work hours and communicate them clearly. Number 3, there is no way on planet Earth that you will be productive if you are checking social media and email all day long. And that's true whether you're at home or at the office. I mean, there are so many studies that say there is so much lack of productivity in corporate world, corporate America, wherever you live. Even at an office, there's actually not much work getting done because people are just checking their phones or staying in email all day. It's actually not a good environment. And that is even more true at home when there's no other social pressure of other people working to keep you focused. So it's very easy to just check and see what the stock market's doing if you freak out about that, or check and see what the latest lockdown guidelines are, or check and see, if the NFL is going to continue to have the draft, or if they're going to postpone it, or whatever it is. You're going to check and see something throughout the day because your mind's going to drift. So just like you have work hours, have dedicated social media email hours. So personally, I don't like to check email until lunchtime. I like to come in, do the most important work of the day before lunch so that I feel like I've been super productive. No matter what happens in the afternoon, you cannot take away from me that I got something important done, probably the most important thing done in the morning. So I like to check social media or email or whatever, or news that I want to keep up with around lunchtime when I take a break, so I can see my family and check some of that stuff. And then at the end of the day, say 5 p.m., when I'm landing the plane, as I like to call it. I don't like to work all the way up to the end. I like to have 30 minutes where I am shutting things down, checking the news sites or the website I want to check, or catching up with somebody or some personal email to sort of land the plane. So I like 2 dedicated times to check that stuff, but I would block it out so that you are staying productive during those work hours. And finally, tip number 4 to stay sane and productive when stuck at home, working from home, is to take 5 to 10 minute breaks every hour or 90 minutes, okay? Do not work for a 2-hour stretch. Although you can, and when I get into the zone, sometimes I find myself wanting to do that. It is so much healthier, and the studies show that it's so much healthier to take a 5 to 10 minute break where you stand up, especially if you're sitting down, walk out of your room or wherever your office is, stretch, maybe step outside, get some fresh air, get a glass of water, take a bite of something. Don't check your phone. This is not the time to check your phone. That's why we just talked about having dedicated phone time for email and social media. But take a physical break for 5 to 10 minutes every hour or every 90 minutes. Clears your head very quickly. So when you sit back down, boom, you just keep rolling. This will keep you fresh. And a lot of times, if you work with other people or you work in an office, these breaks are there naturally. You don't notice them. You go get a drink from the kitchen, you go to the water cooler, you go to the bathroom and you see somebody and you chat for 5 minutes. Those are built-in breaks that happen organically in a communal setting. They don't happen organically when you're all by yourself. So you have to be disciplined to take those breaks every 1 hour or hour and a half to stay sane and productive. All right, so dedicated workspace, dedicated work hours and communicate them to the people that you live with, dedicated time for email and social media so you're not doing it all day long, and taking 5 to 10 minute breaks every 60 to 90 minutes, I promise you, will help you be tremendously productive and, more importantly, stay sane and not lose your mind while you're stuck at home trying to get your work done. Now, related to that, if you are stuck at home, we talked about this last week in my video, you have a great opportunity to not only work if you have a job still, but to work on your music. I've talked to many of you in the last couple of weeks, and many of you are finishing your EP. You're finishing the song you were writing. You're finishing up mixes. You're practicing your mixing. You're practicing mastering because you have more time at home, which is one of the greatest silver linings of being locked down or being stuck at home during this situation. So here, I want to give you something so that you don't only make music, but you make it sound as good as you possibly can. Did you know that when it comes to the song production process, getting a song idea out to the world on Spotify and it's sounding super dope, there are 6 distinct steps that every major song goes through. 6 phases, if you will, to go from song idea to a final polished master out in the world. Most home studio owners only do 3 to 4 of these on average. Some even do less. Most people aren't even aware of the final 2 to 3. These steps are so critical, and skipping one is detrimental, but doing all 6 of these are so critical to your song sounding as radio ready as possible. And so I've put these steps together into a guide called my 6 Steps to a Radio Ready Song Guide. It's a simple PDF. Thousands of people have downloaded it. What I want you to do is download it for free, print it up if you're old school, or have it on your phone or your tablet, and keep it next to your workstation wherever you make music, so that when you have this extra time and you're ready to make a song, you go through it like a map. Step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. Doesn't matter what genre you have, doesn't matter how good you are, new or veteran you are. All songs in the song production process go through these 6 steps if you want them to sound their best. It's absolutely free. It's super, super helpful. It's going to give you some extra tips in there as well. It's just a great resource that I want you to have that's more valuable now than ever because you got time to use it. To grab your copy, just hit the link below this video or just go to radioreadyguide.com. radioreadyguide.com. It's there. Just grab it, download it, and then please follow it, make some music with it, and then come back here and let me know the results of your next single or EP or whatever you're working on after having gone through this 6-step process. Hey, stay safe, wash your hands, praying for you. Can't wait to hear what kind of music you make during this season, and I'll see you on another video real soon.